Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for a bench press day. And continuing with what I've been doing, I went ahead and did fives today, and I did a 5x5 on the bench press. And one of the things I've realized, I just need more total pressing volume. So something I did today, trying to decide what I was going to do for the auxiliary press. I've been so kind of torn between incline and doing JM presses, but I realized, look, my chest has to grow. I really need my chest to grow. I need the upper chest thicker. That's really going to make a big difference in my benching. And even when I got to the JM press today, that's worth discussing, I didn't have anything left after 8 sets of other pressing, and I've realized I probably should focus just my efforts in my pause benching and my pause incline, doing everything really strict, just build up the chest. And the thing is, when it comes to all the tricep growth, I mean, the data is pretty good. I think it's pretty good to say that triceps do grow a lot from benching, just not the long head. So with that much pressing, we should be good there. But then when it comes to the long head, I don't know how much work I really need because of the amount of pull-ups I'm now doing. I felt my whole tricep so fatigued going into the JM presses, I struggled to even handle what I did for 5 sets last time because I did 8 sets of pull-ups and 8 sets of chest presses first. That's the interesting thing. And then the pullovers do that also. That's one of the things I also noticed when I first added pull-ups back in. I started getting ridiculous amounts of long head DOMs for just a week or two. So with what I'm doing with these pull-ups, if I keep doing this route, which also just worked my whole arm, my shoulder health is really good though. These didn't hurt. The pullovers have been working wonders. Pullovers are going to be a staple. Pullovers are going to be a staple here. But when I start looking at this, I know I just need to bring my chest up, and my triceps will come along just with the benching improving. But then all that long head, the long head is always the question. But I didn't do a lot of stuff for long head. These days I'm doing all these pull-ups, which I do feel there. The pullovers work the long head. So there's going to be a point where if I'm doing ridiculous amounts of volume of those, that long head's getting work. And if it's not, then I can always add another exercise in. But as far as what I'm getting out of the JM press, I found it really helpful when I was just doing a certain amount of benching and then JM press after. But if I'm going to push the incline really hard, I feel like I'm getting so much, lateral head and pressing strength by doing 10 sets of heavy presses every upper day, because it's going to be twice a week. I don't know that my triceps need another big movement like that. It just feels redundant. And if anything, maybe just some pump work, right? Some pump work with bands, and that might be the way I go. Might be the way I go. But what did I do here? I did 100 pull-ups today. I did 100 pull-ups. I'm going to make a little separate clip. I've already made it, but I'm going to upload these first, just so that no one can try to, grab it and use it for copyrights in between. People are crazy like that. So, yeah, I did 275 for a 5x5, although I think the 4th set I only got 4 because I didn't take a long enough break. But that's the beauty of it. I can take as long a breaks as I want. I have as long a time as I want, and because I'm doing a set of 10 pull-ups after every one of these, my workout density still is crazy high, even if I want to take 5 minutes between presses. I did 100 pull-ups today. What does that do on the conditioning and work capacity end? I think it does a lot. So I think what I want to build towards here, I want to be comfortable doing the 275 for a 5x5, and I may want to just slowly work that up. Same thing, I want to get that incline up to a 5x5. And I don't care how long of breaks I need to take. Who cares? I'm going to do all these pull-ups in between. So it doesn't matter. Right? And I've noticed I'm doing these all raw. This is pretty much flat back. I'm using no wrist straps, no belt. I'd love to get this 5x5 up to 300 plus. But when I was bulking, and of course keep in mind, because I'm going to be slow cutting, the reason these workouts are going to look a little better, I'm really slowing the roll on my cut a little bit. I feel I'm at a point I need to be recomping as I cut. So it's going to be if I'm just going to slowly continue to trickle that weight down, because that initial cut was kind of quick. I dropped 13 pounds, pretty fast, all things considered. Considering I wasn't really fat, it's pretty rapid. So now I'm just going to keep just working it down, and I'm going to have to push harder in the training, right? I'm going to have to push harder in the training. I've got to build muscle, and I'm going to build quads. I'm going to hammer the squats, hammer all the pressing, because really, what do I need at this point? My back is crazy. Jacking the pull-ups will keep it there. My hamstrings and stuff are good. I'll still train them. I need the quads, I need the pecs, and I need my arms bigger. I'm even looking at this going, I don't know as I get leaner that I need a lot of direct delt work at this point. For now, just at this time, guys. Keep in mind that's not long term. Just looking at where I'm at in my training. I mean, realistically, if I just get the bench up and the incline up, that's going to make me have the look I want. The interesting thing with these pull-ups, I was scared I wasn't going to be able to do curls. Because it wasn't just my forearms and radial brachialis. All that was cramping last time when I did 65 last workout. But my biceps were destroyed. And it makes sense, even though we can argue, and I think it is a fair argument, that the pull-up is not the best bicep exercise in the world. Okay? I think curls are slightly better. There comes a point where when you just do so many damn pull-ups, because keep in mind, I'm 215 before breakfast or anything. I've had coffee, I've had breakfast, I got shoes on, it's going up, but we'll still call it 215. Even if you want to take that to 220, it's 100 pull-ups. And that's not chins with an underhand grip, it's pull-ups. That's a lot of bicep load. My biceps were ridiculously pumped. I was scared I was not going to be able to do any curls. I was scared I was going to be able to do curls. And these got real hard. They weren't hard the first 60 or 70. Set 8, 9, and then 10, I didn't think I was going to get the 10th rep on the last set. I don't know how I got it. I didn't feel like it was in there. When I got to that 10th set, the very first rep felt hard. It's like, man, they started easy. All right, incline though, I just did these with 205, which is what I did for 5 last time. I know I've been stronger before the cut, 13 pounds heavier on incline. I think a good goal to get to, these are 205 for 3x5. I'd like to get to 225 for a 5x5. Keep in mind that's after benching. And keep in mind I want that raw, I want it paused, I don't want my butt easing up out of that bottom of that bench. Nice strict 5x5 with 225. I think that's a good short-term goal. Keep in mind I'm going to superset pull-ups between all of it. And I kind of feel like, I think that handles on my back because I'm deadlifting. Again, I'm doing conventional deadlifts again now on my lower days. You know what, guys, if I do 10 sets of pull-ups, both upper workouts, and then I do some deadlifts, I think my back is pretty well covered. I'm all back anyways. All right, the JM presses, I realized how much tricep fatigue I got from 8 sets of heavy pressing. I can only get 10s on these. I got 5x12 last time on this. Relatively easy. It's the accumulation of those pull-ups because I noticed the pull-ups, I feel them in that long head. So that's kind of why I'm like, look, if this is just working the same parts of the tricep for the most part that all the pressing is, let's just do a lot of pause bench and a lot of incline. Let's just get real good at those and blow my chest way up. Because if I really want that long head, how about all these pull-ups? How about the pullovers? Let's work it with that. And then I think, just to make sure, I didn't do it this workout, but I think next time, let's knock out some band press downs to failure. Let's really get that deep pump in there because triceps are going to be kind of a big deal. But when you start looking at it, if between the lateral and the long head being worked, everything I did today hit triceps until we got to curls. I mean, pull-ups do put a stretch on the long head. I'm not saying it's a great tricep exercise. People who argue it can cause growth. But if we're doing 10 sets of heavy pressing, pause bench, pause incline, that's a decent tricep work. All those pull-ups. Right, so that's 10 sets for at least the lateral head. Again, we can argue the long head needs the work. But don't the pull-ups and the pullovers hit it? What if I build up to 5 sets of pullovers? I mean, in theory, that's 15 sets of stretching that long head. Again, may not be optimal for it because my triceps still lag. I feel like my chest and triceps really need the most work. At this point, I also don't even care about shoulders because my shoulders are pretty decent sized. You know, that's the other thing. Everyone's always, when you see the freakish round delts, those guys are blasting a lot of gear always. Because notice the old school, the golden era physiques didn't have the delts guys have today, just an FYI. I'll figure out how much I need as I get leaner, and if I get leaner and I need more delt work, I'll work all the laterals or other stuff back in. I just feel like right now with what I did like today, this is so much work that my delts already feel kind of shot. They already feel shot. Every exercise I did works delts, one of the heads. Even these work delts. The curls work front delts. So, you know, it might be a point where I need a little bit of posterior or lateral head work. I'm going to run with this for just a bit. Let's get a little leaner, and then I'll look and see how they look. All right, let's see how they look. But when I got to the end here, the curls and the pullovers, I was scared I wasn't going to be able to do curls. I wanted to try to work towards building the volume up on these. I did 4 sets of each, and then I'm just like, dude, my arms are done. My arms are done. Those pull-ups felt like they worked biceps, and then my triceps were just trashed at this point too. So I think the name of the game, what I may work with on this, because it was a debate, do we want incline or JM press? And I feel like just for my overall look, incline's going to bring more to the table. You know, if I can just thicken up that whole upper chest region, you know, and not beat myself up with a third heavy press. And like I said, if I need to, we can work some band work in. I mean, I might work in some extensions again with the easy bar. Might be what we need. But at this point, maybe just the pump work from the really high rep bands wouldn't be a bad idea. I can adjust and think on it with what I'm doing with the programming. I've got to really play this by ear, because again, the whole idea, if I'm going to look better, you know, but I want to be strong and I want a big bench. I would love to still try to work towards that 405 bench once I get leaner. But even then, let me get leaner, get down relatively ripped into even bench 365 again with a pause. I don't think that'd be bad at all either. One thing to do it, you know, over 220, it's another thing to be dropped down 20 pounds lighter shredded and to do it as an old man. Well, some people get mad. They're like, how dare you call yourself an old man? You're 46. I'm about to be 47. That's old enough. Anyone who's trained at this age knows it's a different game. And I got guys using their age of being 50 in the comments as an excuse to never bench 300 pounds or to deadlift 500. Why am I doing that at 50? But we're talking about, I want to be doing sets of 5 with 500 plus and benching 315 for 5 at 50. You know? Come on, guys. The kids don't realize how easy they have it, though. You know, you'll see all these kids trash talk. They're 26. Like, dude, you guys are clueless. You have no idea what it's like to train over 40. You guys are going to be in for a rude awakening. Or, you know, here's the funny one. I love this. I'll just go on TRT and it'll be exactly the same. Yeah, oh my God. You guys, the level of dumbassery. You guys are in for a rude awakening. These guys really think that when they turn 40, it's going to be the exact same as training at 25 if they go on TRT. Every guy over 40 on TRT who just heard me say that, dude, no, they really think that. You guys are laughing your ass off. These silly kids are going to be in for a rude awakening. All right. Overall, pretty dang happy with the workout. I'm pretty stoked that I got 100 pull-ups. All right. Pretty happy with that. Again, but moving forward, I think pull-ups, flat bench, incline are going to be my real serious upper body lifts, and then we're just going to fill in the gaps with all this other stuff. All right. Pullovers, curls, whatever else we need to fill in weak links beyond that, whether it's some side delts or more tricep work. You know, assess it as I go. Look at where I need the work at. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.